Nicole, Brice here with Mixed Alternative Magazine, back for another episode of Unscripted Verbiage, where we talk about whatever the hell we want, right? So today I am joined with my partner in crime, Seth Thomas. What's up, Seth?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
And we have the Louisiana-based metal band We All Perish. My boys, what is up today? Hell yeah. So I figure we'll just dive right in, Seth. I have a few questions, and then if you want to piggyback on what I've got, do you have your own questions too?
Well, I've been knowing these guys so long that I've got a couple questions that are new, but we've been knowing each other for quite a while. So I'm just gonna let you do
I know, but we also are introducing them to another audience who may not
Yeah,
be familiar with them. So
absolutely.
my first question is, I want to talk a little band history. Okay, so you guys, what year was it you officially got started? Because I saw your first song was released in 2022, but when did you guys come together as a band? And give us a little bit of backstory on that.
Sammy and Tori question.
Yeah, so I guess it was right around 2020. Starting to record and write was kind of my COVID project, right? As everybody had their project. So for the end of 2020, I talked to a friend of mine who introduced me to Sammy, who had been in bands with Sammy before, and so we kind of got started there. And we started writing right away, and it just it took a while for just me and him to kind of come together and get a whole album. But like by 2022, yeah, that's when we put it out. And then a little while after that, we tried to get a drummer. We had a drummer for a little while. We went through a few of them. And I guess this year is the first time we all solidified as a group. Dion was with us last year. Corey, when you joined?
End of last year.
End of last year. So this group has been about a year in the making.
Gotcha. Okay. So then I wanted to ask, so the debut single that you guys had come out with back in 2022, Scratching the Surface. So that was just a completely different band lineup whenever y'all did that.
Me and Sammy.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Because I was going to say, I made a note. I said that in the beginning, you guys had a more raw sound, but as you've continually released more music, it's become more polished and definitive of the We All Perish sound. So how would you guys describe your music for those who are unfamiliar? Like, say you were trying to sell them your music.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Absolutely amazing. Like hard rock, alt metal, new metal.
Yeah.
Fusion type of thing. Hybrid.
I think that works.
Radio, but barely.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to say props to Sammy for your voice. It's amazing. And your vocals remind me of Corey Glover from Living Colour. So I wanted to ask you, who is your favorite frontman that you do you try to emulate any other frontman, or you think you got your own style? Is there anyone that has influenced you?
I don't know, man. I have a few different influences, but I really like Aaron Lewis from Stain.
Hell yeah.
LaJohn from Seven Dust.
I love LaJohn.
That's like my big three. So, but I mean, I try to do my own thing.
Or have you ever listened to the band Living Colour? Are you guys fans?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just making sure, because sometimes when I throw a reference out there, some people aren't familiar with the bands. I'm old, y'all, so
It's only because they weren't born yet.
That's how it is.
The covers we've done is from Fire from the Gods, and they came out with a collaboration with Living Colour, and it was amazing. So yeah, we're well familiar. Yeah.
Hell yeah, guys. All right, so let's lead into the new single. All right, so new single, Overcome, just released November 20th. What has the response been so far? I freaking love it. I've been listening to it nonstop, but have people given you guys any feedback on it yet?
Oh yeah. Every time I've talked to somebody about it, they absolutely love it. Very impressed. They said it's not something that they were expecting to come from us after the last single, because it's a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I love it because it sounds so different from what we have around here. And like you guys, that's one thing I've noticed is you stand out with your sound because it's so different. Well, actually, most of the Lafayette area bands, y'all all are just freaking amazing, I'll be honest, I wish that some of these Baton Rouge bands would be a little bit more diverse, but it is what it is. So, Seth, do you have anything that you would like to add? And I've got a few other things.
Yeah, well, in terms of the band itself, like I said, I was fortunate enough to have the premiere of the very first song. I'll be featuring the new one this week on the Loud Hour, and it's already on rotation in the Rage. So the Rage already has it on rotation. I added it this past weekend, or Friday, I should say. But with you guys releasing singles, is that what we're going to continue to see from We All Perish, or will we see an album eventually, or is the style now to release singles every so often?
You stole my question, Seth.
Second album will be coming.
This is definitely a lead into our second album.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
As working we're all of us, family men, working people. Like it takes us a little bit of time to get toward this album, but we are well on our way to it. So
yeah,
awesome.
I could
Nicole touched
single and then album probably right before summertime.
Okay, so summertime for a new album. Okay.
Spring, summer, somewhere around there.
Yep.
Nicole touched on the fact that you guys have a very, you said it too, that it's a radio friendly, but not quite radio friendly sound. One thing that's really cool is that whenever I put you guys' music into rotation on the Rage, it gets lost with the bigger bands. So like the larger acts that are on the radio now, I'm like, wait, who is this? Oh, that's We All Perish. That's right. So don't shy away from the idea of being harder, but then also being that radio rock, because it definitely fits into the groove. And so with the singles that you guys have put out, all of them are featured on the Rage, which is, I don't think I have any other act that every single that they've sent to me is on there.
Well, it's because they're so freaking good, Seth. Come on now.
Right. So the question to you guys is, I know the evolution of this band from single to single to single and from the album. You guys have finally, I think, figured out and hit your stride as to who this band and identity is.
I agree.
What do you think is your next step? Is there more shows that I know you said that, you guys are all working? Is there more shows in the future? Is there the prospect of doing, maybe you're trying out to go to a couple festival dates or something along those lines? Because you already got the sound. You guys already have that part really defined and have a unique niche in that area. What's next for this band when it comes to the next step for you? What do you see as success for the band We All Perish?
I'll say we're open to a lot of opportunities. We do have a show as we're filming tonight, but we have a show coming up, and then we had one in December that got canceled, so that's fine. And then, but even like we had talks with a band out of North Virginia that we happened to come across, and they asked us if we were interested in a small 5 to 7 day Southern tour, and we were all for it. It's not happening. Again, something happened on their end, but I mean, we're open to these opportunities,
Yeah. But before then, the primary goal of moving forward after this show is to finish the album.
Yeah.
Not sure if we're going to book any shows in between now and when the album's done. But maybe something will come up that we might take. But for now, the focus is definitely going to be the album, getting it done.
Gotcha.
Well, I might want to book y'all for one of my showcases in Gonzales. So y'all going to have to play one of those.
Yeah. Like we said, we have a plan, but we are definitely open to what we can make happen.
Hell yeah.
Those start in March though, so you got plenty of time. They'll have the album.
Yeah, we're not starting them until March.
Right.
Yeah.
I have way too much planning to do, which I'm excited to do these because like the whole point is I want to get 3 different bands each time that sound completely different. So then you have something for everybody when you're advertising it, because I think a lot of people shy away from going to shows these days if they see, oh, okay, it's 3 metal bands and I'm not a fan of metal. But then if you see, a bill that maybe has like a rock band, a metal band, and then say like a crossover band, then, people go like, oh, well, I can go listen to this or I can go to this or whatever. So we'll see what happens with it. But I'm excited.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Definitely open to playing with all genres. I don't care. Personally.
Well, exposure, man. Just got to get exposure. We got to get people out there. And like, that leads me to, so Seth and I, we've had a discussion many times that we think that the reason attendance is so low at these shows is because we're just not reaching people outside of the scene, Yeah. And that's what we need to do is reach these people outside of the scene to let them know, look, Louisiana has some great talent, great bands, come check them out. So.
Yeah. And it takes looking into that on the band's end, not just for promoters and venues, but also on the band side of things. The local bands need to start learning how to do marketing and running ads and things like that. Because I talk to a lot of the local guys, they don't know how to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Help out tremendously. If everybody kind of pitched in and help each other learn how to do stuff like that, it would make a big difference.
Yeah, I agree. We've had this conversation before, Dion, like the difference between boosting an ad and actually creating an actual ad on social media, things like that. I think that is something that we definitely need to do as a community, is really build up that education and that awareness, but then also have that sense of community that builds culture. And right now, I think one of the things that we have a tremendous opportunity in Acadiana and Louisiana as a whole is creating a culture and a community that supports each other to make the noise that we need to have people pay attention to the music that's being made here.
I agree. I agree. But I'm gonna be honest too. I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but Facebook lately has not been a good way to advertise. I don't know what's going on with their algorithms or whatever, but like my shit's just not getting seen. I don't know about y'all.
No, it's same.
Yeah. We're gonna move to Blue Sky apparently.
Yeah, well, I heard about that. I thought about deflecting over there, but then I'm wondering, like, what's their algorithms going to look like? Are they going to hide the music stuff too? It's almost as if like we need like another MySpace type platform that's specifically, for advertising indie music, because it's just getting buried. But then also too, something weird's going on Facebook. Like Sick at Heart released a new song this week, and I must have tried to share it like 3 or 4 times, and every time I went to go share it, it wouldn't let me.
I've had that problem sharing my stuff, our stuff.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if it's just maybe a coding issue that they're dealing with, some bugs. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get Terry to go fix it.
They don't pay me.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So my next question for you guys. Okay, so obviously gonna release the new album. Don't plan to do too many shows in between there, but. So say an opportunity came up in 2025 for you guys to share a stage with, some big name act. Who would you guys like to share a stage with, coming up?
Be a different answer for everybody.
Fire from the Gods.
Fire from the
Gods would be way up there. I
All
think.
That Remains.
Yeah.
Seven Dust still for me.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
In living color. Why not? They wouldn't want to have anything to do with us. But yeah. I mean, things that don't sound like us, but our influences are kind of obvious, I think, sometimes. Like,
what's really interesting is every single band that you guys mentioned has played Lafayette in the past. So it's not far-fetched to have those bands come back here because they love playing in Louisiana. They love playing in Lafayette. So we got to figure out how to get them back here and entice them to come back. So it's not that far-fetched, so.
Personally, I know when a couple years back, when I was in a different band, we opened for Buckcherry, and there was the buy-on option. I think something like that would be reasonable to help cover some of the guarantees for these national acts.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, I also have learned a few things that I think one of the things that we need to do is incorporate more sponsorship into shows. And so that way it's more manageable, just because of the fact that having someone on the line for all the money, like holding the bag for all of it, can be daunting. And I think that, doing buy-ons for openers is great, but I also think though too that, case in point, like when we had Death Angel here, there was no buy-on, and they complimented our locals for having such a strong crowd at the beginning of the show. They were like, man, like everybody's here to watch the locals as much as they are to watch us. Like, that's great. We don't see that normally. So as much as I'd like to see the money recouped in a certain ways, I do think though that you guys and other bands need to have the appeal of having the draw, because the national acts do notice that, as opposed to just a buy-on with an empty room.
Right.
So that I would love to see us do more of those national dates. Really, it's to try to find the space to do it here in Lafayette. Like that's the hardest part nowadays. So,
well, I mean, you got the Pit. The Pit's a great new space.
Yes, it is, but we've got to do some things to it to make sure that we get it to a national level, especially with the bands that they just mentioned. We've got to do some work.
Yeah, but okay, so I will say this though: who says that it needs to be at a national level? Because what if we presented the shows in such a way that people would want to play them just because they're fun and not necessarily because they are on the same level as like a national level show? Just saying.
Possibly.
It's all about the culture and the vibe, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but we have to change that, and that takes time. Like you and I discussed the other day, how there's a stigma around local acts. So like, it doesn't matter how good, like Seth said, we can sound like a national act all day long, but the moment I tell somebody I'm in that band, they're like, oh, their eyes glaze over. Like, I know you now. It removes the mystery from it. I guess is what it is. So it's kind of like a stigma that I don't really know how to get rid of. I'm not the smart one.
I think we're on our way. I don't know. I just see big things coming in 2025, and so I wanted to ask you guys too. So like, if you could accomplish one goal in 2025, I mean, beyond releasing new music, beyond playing shows, what would you guys like to accomplish big as a band in 2025?
I would like to do a mini tour.
Yeah,
a
mini
tour.
Awesome. Yeah,
branching out outside of Louisiana, honestly,
Yeah.
just kind of get some neighboring states.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to we're not going to California. We're not going that far right now.
Right.
Some local, like nearby.
Like Gulf Coast.
Just to kind of put ourselves
Going
out.
from here to here, right?
Become known more regionally rather than locally. Yeah.
Maybe bring some acts from that area back with us, you know.
Maybe bring some of those really good
running with
regionals.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, my goal is to eventually get everybody booked up in New Jersey, and we're going to bring some of the New Jersey people down here now too. So
I'll play in New Jersey.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
get y'all playing in Asbury Park. They've got a good music scene up there, man. It's so diverse. Like, I'm obsessed with almost every band coming out of that area because they're also different. It's like you can have like an industrial band, then you can have a new wave band, and then you've got a Americana band, and then you've got metal, you've got rock, you've got all these different genres. And it's like sometimes, you know, like I love what we have coming out of Louisiana, but sometimes I wonder, you know, do we pigeonhole ourselves by sticking to metal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. But you know, we can help solve that by, like we were talking about earlier, mixing genres with all the shows.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the whole point. Yeah.
One trick pony.
That's what I like about our music too, is like it's a lot of metal influence with it, but you know, we have a lot of the background stuff in there, you know, more pop style stuff, kind of sweet melodic stuff.
I was about to say that it's very melodic. Yeah.
It's a nice blend of I mean, everything we've all grown up listening to, and it's not just this is heavy, this is what we do, and your faces off. Well, no, we want you to, you know, dance, maybe, you know, feel a little sweet sometimes,
cry a little bit,
cry a little bit.
We want all the emotions, not just the one, you know.
I think the best word that kind of gets people who are just not into our scene at all is unfortunately palatable. But I mean, that's what we are. We're quite palatable, I think. My parents have told me that before. Oh wow, I mean, I like listening to that. That's not bad.
We can actually enjoy this. Yeah.
Well, I like that you can actually sing along to it, and you can actually understand the lyrics, and you can understand the melody, and that it catches you in that way, you know? I mean, I like heavy music, don't get me wrong, you know, I can put on something that's full of screaming, you know, one day, but I mean, at the end of the day, I like to have something I can sing along to that has a melody, you know, that resonates with me.
Absolutely. It's a different kind of connection.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially if you can relate to the lyrics, which I find our lyrics are very relatable. And
100%. Yeah.
For many different situations too. So,
you know, my favorite thing this year from you guys was you got to open up for, you opened up for an acoustic set at Route 92.
That was fun.
Was that the Paul McCoy show?
Yeah, it was a Paul McCoy and Scott from Saving Abel.
Yeah.
And what was really funny was people were coming up to me asking me, what do they sound like outside of this? Like, what do they do besides this? Like, they were all kind of not really worried, but they were like, I'm curious. I'm morbidly curious. Like, do you play them on the radio? Yes, they're on the Loud Hour. Oh, okay. And like even Chris, you know, from Planet Radio was like, yeah, I've heard a couple of their songs. What else do they do? And I was like, this is what they do. Like, this is their style. This is their sound. Let's do some more stuff. And I actually had another person who hosts shows outside of Route 92 here in Acadiana approach me about doing more acoustic shows with bands that typically don't do acoustic sets. They wanted you guys to be a part of it as well. So hopefully we'll try to start that sometime in the spring. But it'll be like a thing called Covered and Stripped, where you guys will do songs that are covers as well as your originals. And hopefully it'll open up a new market of people who have never heard of, you know, We All Perish or other bands in our market. And hopefully it'll draw them into wanting to see you guys outside of just the acoustic shows. So, but you guys definitely made an impact on that acoustic show. I was very impressed with the amount of people that came up to us and were like, who are they? What do they do? Like, what else do they sound like? So
that's when you say, Seth, they're just freaking incredible. Here, listen to this shit. That's what you say.
Yeah, that's it was like, hey, they're on Spotify, you know, like you have Spotify, Apple Music, and then they kind of look at you like a deer in the headlights because there's a bunch of older people there.
Spotify.
Hey, we'll still see these two.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
I think the sound quality, to be quite honest, with CDs is far better than MP3s. And like, you know, I've got a CD player in my car, and I look like a kid from the 90s. I get in my car and I have my big book of CDs and I'm flipping through it. That's better.
Yeah, it does. You get the full quality that was exported from the project.
Ooh, that makes me a little nervous that it's gonna my imperfections are going to be found out. Quality like that.
There's no imperfections, man.
Over here. He's the in-house producer, making him sweat now.
So yeah, so who did produce the new song? Really?
All of us, but I'm the mixer.
Yeah.
I'm the we all, which is the coolest. I think one of the coolest parts about us is that he recorded guitar at his house. He recorded bass at his house. We recorded. Wow. We don't have the opportunity the capabilities to record drums, so we had Shane record somewhere else, and Sammy recorded in my bedroom. Like, and then we go in. He edited the stuff, and then he sent them to me, and then I went and put it all in the project, and we all mixed it up. So it's such a collaborative effort for everything. Speaking
of, shout out to the Shed Sound Hole. That's where we track drums at.
Hell yeah. It's,
and I
mean, it sounds incredible, and I love the sound clip at the beginning too, and I love how everything goes together, and then just that opening riff of that song, freaking, oh my God.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. So just so people who are watching who don't know what we're talking about, so We All Perish, we're sitting with them today. They just released a new song called Overcome, released November 20th, 2024. It's amazing. You need to check it out. Boom. Okay, now we can keep going.
Well, so I was gonna say real quick too, like, these guys are all school of, like, they're students of the game. Because Dion, you asked me a question a few days ago about, the loudness war that goes on with music and how full things are and where really things need to be.
Yeah.
And so you guys are all studying that aspect of it. So what's the challenge nowadays with being able to record a lot of it on your own? What's the challenge of trying to learn all this information right now for your band to complete these projects in a timely manner, number one, but then number two, is there ever some time where you try something out and it throws off everything from your characteristic sound? Or is it one of those things where y'all are always trying to just evolve and learn to make the music sound different from one single to the next?
I would say it's very rare that we have some part or piece that we all go, that's just not right. We do have a couple songs that we've kind of shelved and said, maybe that's not exactly us. But most of the time we're cutting apart. It's just because it takes the focus away from another part or something like that,
or just the structure isn't right, or it's too out of vibe with the rest of the song or something like that. But that's about really the extent of it.
Gotcha.
And as far as my bad, go ahead.
No, well, I was gonna say, like, even if there are parts that one or two, maybe three of us don't agree with in a song, like when I do drum parts, I'll record them or program them through an electric kit and send it to the guys and be like, here's what I have. Let me know if maybe there's some things might sound better here or there. And we do it collectively with the vocals, the guitars, everything. It's always a, throw it out there, see how everybody feels about it, put your input. And fortunately, most of the time, there's not a lot to change with it. Like, it's just
we're incredibly impressed by, or at least I am, by everybody else's parts. I am blown away every time.
Absolutely.
It's awesome. It's amazing.
And as far as the information you mentioned about, the technicalities of everything, like, for example, the loudness war and all that stuff.
Right.
The hardest part about that is just keeping up with the information as it evolves, with us being family men and having our own careers and stuff like that outside of music. That is the main focus of our lives. So that's really the hardest part, is just keeping up with it as it changes.
Gotcha.
New things, new tools come out, and new information comes out, and like the industry starts going in a different direction from loudness, like it's been doing. I think people are starting to kind of get away from that. Thank God.
Yeah.
But I'll say you're already an influence. I mean, you told us what you wanted the last one to be at, and we put it there. I don't know if you know it, but I mean, that was.
I actually did.
Seth, we got about 4 more minutes. We need to start wrapping it up. Any other questions for you?
I'm looking forward to the show tonight that we're throwing down at the pit.
But this won't go up on our YouTube till tomorrow, so.
Oh, it's still. I mean, they missed. They're gonna.
I'll try to get it edited, tonight. But
it doesn't matter. But nonetheless, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys live. Looking forward to seeing you guys live, and just keep up the great work. I'm looking forward to the next single. The evolution of this band has been something to see. I remember when Sammy was like, "I got this new project." I was like, "Wait, what?" And he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Okay."
Shout out.
So the first interview that we did with the first single to now, like this unit, this entity of We All Perish is just really great to see, and I'm anxious to see you guys play more shows, because that was nice to hear you talk about that, because I know for sometimes it's always a challenge to try to get more shows under the booking belt for you guys. So that's awesome to hear. So
I just want to promote the hell out of you guys, because I just love y'all as people too. So
hey, appreciate that.
That's a goal.
Likewise.
That's a goal,
y'all,
right?
We love y'all too.
Seth and I are going to become like the mom and dad of the music scene. Watch.
Already, it's already there. y'all selling y'all.
What's up, pops? I'm just picking with you, man.
It's bad enough. Last week I had one of the bands that would play the show. They kept saying yes sir, no sir, and I was like,
dude, I get a lot of yes ma'am, no ma'am. So you can imagine how I feel.
I was like, I'm gonna kill you.
They're just showing the respect you deserve, man. That's all.
Yeah, but still, it makes you old.
It's okay, man. You're only as well. I was gonna say you're only as old as you feel. So I feel young most days, except for when my back starts hurting, and then I'm like, nope, I'm freaking old.
You gotta ignore it. Just turn it off.
Well, I'm out of questions. So, is there anything else you guys would like to, let people know about your new single, about upcoming music, etc.?
We have what did we say? December.
Oh yeah, for the next one.
We're gonna sometime in December. The next single is gonna be dropping.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a title for the next single?
Wither and Rust.
Wither and Rust.
Nice.
Not out yet.
Not out yet. Sometime.
What are we thinking? Like mid-December?
Maybe a little later. Maybe a little later, but yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. But go stream when you come.
Yeah. Pay attention to this one.
Soak that one up.
We're gonna do a lyric video for that one soon too. For Overcome, that is.
Oh, are you? Okay. Have y'all? Well, I didn't even have this question planned, but I'm just gonna go ahead and ask it. Have y'all thought about doing music videos, like actually full music videos for some of your songs?
Yeah.
Have we thought about it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. We discussed it, how to do it, whether we want to DIY it, whether we want to pay somebody, and that's really it's just deciding how we want to do it and if we're able to do it that way. Yeah, basically, because we don't want to put anything out that's subpar.
No, I agree. But music videos, I think that's one thing that's missing these days, especially for people like me, MTV kid, MTV generation. Like I used to like watching the videos because the videos then completed the vision of the song,
Yeah, absolutely.
And I
think a lot of that's missing.
Thing for people to see. It 100%. It's a very good tool. Absolutely.
Yeah. The YouTube algorithm too. YouTube likes music videos.
Yep. YouTube is thebomb.com. Well, I'm out of questions, but Seth, do you have anything else you want to close out with before I do my outro?
They touched on music videos and things like that, and I agree, and I thank you guys for actually having that in mind of like, hey, we don't want to make something that's going to be subpar, because we've had this conversation on Unscripted Verbiage before. I usually do a song at least 3 or 4 times before I go find out if there's a music video, because sometimes the music video for me, I'm like, no, what did they do? It's not what I saw in my head.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh no, it's all good. As long as the dog doesn't attack one of y'all, we good.
That's why it's unscripted.
That would be funny though if we got that on camera.
No, not really.
But the most views. The episode with the most views, right?
But yeah, so like that's one of those things that I'd like to see you guys put out a music video. But I'm actually really happy to hear that you want to put out something that's going to be, on the same caliber as the music you guys have also put out for the past few years. So,
Seth, you want me to go ahead and close out?
Yep, we're good.
Okay. Well, this wonderful discussion today has been with We All Perish. They are a Louisiana-based metal band. They just had a new single come out. It's called Overcome, released November 20th, 2024. It is available currently on Spotify, Bandcamp, Apple Music, all of the usual suspects, as I like to say, but I prefer Apple Music. So, just putting that out there. But be sure to go check it out. This song is amazing. And then they've got another single dropping mid-December. So stick around for many, many good things from We All Perish. And I can't wait.
Thank you guys for checking us out.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, y'all, for joining us today. Seth, you want to wave or do something silly? Anything?
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Have a good show tonight. Thanks, y'all.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks, y'all. Have a good one.
All right, bye.